In the last class, he was saying that we should not blame the instrument of our own karma. So, what if the devotees are involved and we can directly contact those devotees? Should we ask for a justification?
Ask for what?
Ask for justification.
Justification?
Yes, ma'am.
Ask for justification. Could you explain what that means?
Some communication. So something has happened.
But if it's not justification, I mean, let's say this Peter Burwash. If he could find the person that ran away with the $500, what would be an appropriate communication? That would seem like the justification. I'm feeling this because you did that. I'm blaming you for my feelings. That's just what, to me, that's what it sounds like. I'm justified feeling this way because you did that. It sounds like a husband-wife quarrel. And I'm not married. So rather, there's different options, but here's one option. Peter finds the person who took the $500 donation and ran away with it. And so Peter has the opportunity to express himself to that person. So Peter says something like this. Most likely you recall, around such and such time I gave a donation to the temple of $500. And sometime after that you went away. So that's just a fact. Not a judgment, it's just a fact. And then Peter says, I want you to know what I felt. I take responsibility for my feelings. I'm not blaming you, holding you responsible for my feelings. I'm responsible for my feelings. But I'm letting you know this is what I felt. With no expectation about, give the $500 back or gee, I'm sorry, or, no expectation. Just sharing with the person, this happened, this is what was said and or done, and this is what I felt. I want you to, so the person may go, wow, I had no idea that you felt that. Or maybe, there's so many maybes. In this case, but some other case it could be, when I said this, did that, this was my intention. I mean, let's put it this way. Have you ever had the experience, the answer is yes. Have you ever had the experience when you went out of your way to do an act of kindness to somebody and they read it just the opposite? And they felt hurt. Have you had that experience? Yes. And you wouldn't even know unless the person came and told you, when you said this, did that, this is what I felt. And you go, wow, I'm so sorry you felt that way. Let me explain what I was intending to do, and somehow when I said this, did that, you read it in a way that was different than my intention, and I'm really sorry that I was so ineffective at making my intention transmitted properly. No, you take responsibility for, the effect, but who knows what's going on with that person, and what you said and did triggered something that has nothing to do with what really happened. Because they just read it some way because of something that's going on inside them. It's, this is counseling 101. In one of these presentations I make at college, I'm explaining in many cases, our perception of reality doesn't at all match reality. And that's what is, and other people's perception of reality doesn't at all match reality. There's a perception which becomes their reality, but it doesn't necessarily match reality because it's filtered through so many things. Here's an example in this presentation at colleges is a picture of a 1-800 suicide hotline lady. She gets a call from a girl. The girl says, I'm thinking of committing suicide. Really? What's triggering that emotion? My boyfriend didn't answer my phone call. So the trained 1-800 suicide hotline lady, doesn't react. She's in this response mode. Say, gee, you must be feeling lots of pain, so empathy. And can you tell me a little bit about, she knows there's something else besides the phone call that wasn't answered. And it turns out the woman came from a broken family and there was fear of abandonment. And that fear of abandonment went kaboom! Suicide. My boyfriend didn't answer my phone call. The perception doesn't necessarily match reality. But how is the person that's feeling that abandonment feeling connect with reality? How can we help people connect with... Anyway, this is relationships. It's a very complicated world in which we live.
Thank you, Maharaj.
And there's so many other things. So many other things that are circumstantial. I learned a lesson. I'll share one. We'll go on with this.